Well, it's always hard to end a season, but especially when you have a great team like we have. I'm not going to apologize for being 34-4, and I'm not going to apologize for not making the Final Four, and neither should these guys. There are a couple of them, and I'll just use these two as an example, that have won 69 games in 2 years, have won back-to-back conference championships, have been in the top 10 for every day that they've dribbled a ball at Arizona, and we lost to Wisconsin in two hard-fought battles in the Elite Eight. And if that's a problem, I think you know what you can do. From my perspective, I give tremendous credit to Wisconsin. Their offensive execution and their ability to make shots in the second half, it was like a video game. And I like to blame our players or we weren't playing hard. Let me just tell you, Sam Decker and Frank Kaminsky, they're really good. And their offense is the number one offense in the nation. And no team has done what they did to us in the second half. And that's to their credit. They made shots, and if they play like that next weekend, they have a chance to win it all. So I credit them. Getting back-to-back Final Fours is quite an accomplishment. And Bo Ryan's a tremendous coach, and wish him well. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's how TJ talks. Obviously, we were all trying to get each other to the Final Four. And when you're in this game, you're really close, especially when you're up 3 at the half. We were up 3 at the half last year against Wisconsin, ironically, about the same score. Obviously, the second half went much different this year. But TJ McConnell and Rondé, the two guys who are up here, they're the greatest kids that I've ever coached. They've done everything that we've asked. They play so hard every day that what they do becomes contagious, and it goes throughout the locker room. And in my estimation, you know, the greatest compliment that you can give these guys when they leave is that you're trying to find those that are like them to bring more in. And those two guys are unbelievable winners. We're going to miss them. We really are. But what they've done, and that's the hard part for me, because the focus is so much on the last game and, you know, the Final Four. And I've been in this game 4 times, that you can't take away the 34 wins that we've had, winning conference championships. I think we have the nation's longest win streak. They did all that. And, yeah, we didn't get by Wisconsin today, but as much as this hurts, it's so important for us and for me to give them that feeling that what we did over the last 6 months was the right stuff. And how they went about it was something that we're all really proud of, and I'm proud of them.
Sean Mark Wicker, LA Daily News. In terms of defending or trying to defend those two guys, did you kind of empty the bucket as far as schemes, matchups, everything you could think of?
Emptied the bucket, and it was a big one. You know, I think we've tried everything. Going into the game, because we played them last year, we tried the best we could to hedge every on-ball screen that happened with Kaminsky. We did an excellent job, in my opinion, of that. It's one of the reasons that our defense was organized and we were good at the half. Rondé did a really good job in the first half when he was on Kaminsky, but he's not going to be able to just pitch a shutout. The problem was he can't guard 2 people. And when Sam Decker does what he did, and I think some of the shots were very well defended, when he does that with Kaminsky, you know, maybe Kentucky's that school that can beat them. But I'm just telling you, I don't know if there's another one out there when they're clicking with that 1-2 punch. By the way, Nigel Hayes is pretty good, and he'll keep you honest making a 3 as well. So you're right. Same thing with post trap. You're like, hey, you got to double team Kaminsky. You can do that a few times and get away with it, but eventually when that ball gets out, everybody on the court can shoot it, and they get you with an open 3 that breaks your back. I think they had 2 threes at the half. Think about that. 2 made 3s at the half, 1. And they had, 8 in the second half? 10 in the second half?
10 of 12.
10 of 12. We weren't letting them shoot, you know. So I credit them, and it was a very difficult matchup for us. I wish I could have told you before the game, but I didn't do that. I knew before the game that we would have to play in many ways the perfect defensive game And by the way, need some good fortune. Like maybe one of them has a bad night because they have some answers that we don't really have a solution towards. If you would have told me that we would play the game with 10 turnovers, that we would have one more rebound than them, that we would go 28 for 30 from the foul line and shoot 56% from the floor, I would tell you that we were going to win. But their second half offense was spectacular, extraordinary, and they deserve the credit for that.
Sean, did you have any feeling at all at halftime that you'd spent so much energy coming back that it would cost you a little bit?
No, actually, just the opposite. In last year's game, we jumped on them like they jumped on us, and then I thought the rest of the half kind of favored them. And at halftime of last year's game, even though we were up 3, I can remember that it didn't feel right. And obviously, it became a great battle in the second half. If you think about it, for the last 16 minutes of the first half today, we were clearly the better team. I mean, we outscored them by about, I think, 10 or 11 points. So I believe we felt good. We also liked how our game plan was working. What hurt us in the second half was right away that other player jumped on us from 3, making threes. And, Kaminsky made one, but he's a great player. I mean, he really is. I think every one of these guys in college thinks they're a pro. I got 2 of them, Frank Kaminsky and Sam Decker. I know they're pros. And I don't mean that like Sam should leave. I'm just telling you, he's a great player. And everybody in the Big Ten knows it, and we know it. And Nigel Hayes is great, too. They have that 1-2-3 punch, and obviously they run an offense that puts them in a great position. But they were on fire in the second half.
Sam Vecini, CBSSports.com. This is the 4th time you've gone out in the Elite Eight in the last 7 years. Is there any feeling that you've been snake bitten at this point or anything like that?
Yeah, no question. I mean, you when you lose this game, it's hard. You lose 4 times in 7 years. It's probably a record, right? It is what it is. But again, I come back to the point. It's a process. It's a long journey. It's not a single moment. And it's both a long process in terms of what you do in a year. We started in early October when school began, and we worked. And a lot of great things happened this year for our team. And over the last couple of years, a lot of great things have happened for our program. And over the last 7 years for me, a lot of great things have happened with the teams I've coached. You get to this level and lose. Tonight actually felt a little bit different in that it didn't come down to the last possession. Last couple that we've been in kind of was a single play that you hold on to. Tonight, I think over this summer, when you have a perspective, I mean, my God, there were so many threes going in. It almost took the bite out of the loss somewhat, But with the way the world is today, people will jump all over us for losing in the Elite Eight. I just want to protect our players because if you're TJ McConnell and you've won 69 games in 2 years and you never lost a home game and you've gone to back-to-back Elite Eights, no kid should walk out of here with anything other than their head held high. That's my point. And we'll see. Maybe the 5th time that I get back here, maybe I'll break through.
I'm just curious, can you remember any game that you've coached where a team has gotten hot like Wisconsin did in the second half?
No, but especially against our defense, who's very good, and especially in a game of this magnitude, what they did in the second half. And you know what? Sometimes a kid has a bad night, a team has a bad night, and you miss some open ones that you got. And when in the reverse order for them in the second half, they probably made some tough ones, but they're capable. They're a great shooting team, and they're our game's best offense. To beat them, you have to both be able to score, which we did tonight, but you also have to have a solution in guarding their front court. Their 3, 4, and 5 are spectacular players, especially 2 of them.